Hello. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Hi everyone. Welcome to today's session, how to start and grow a YouTube channel from 0 to 1000 subscribers the real way. I'm Clarice Lin, the ROI doctor who helps small businesses get on Google and YouTube page 1. I'm very excited today to be here with you. I'm in London, UK right now, and I hope you will enjoy this session. And I would like to remind you there is a Q&A on your screen. So if you could put your questions into the chat, I will be answering them towards the end of the session. So feel free if you have any questions about what you are looking at, some of the points that I'm bringing out, feel free to drop it down to the chat. Cool. Perfect. So let's get started. Right. So if you aren't on if you're on social media, feel free to follow me on these different channels. I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I have my website at claricelin.com. So I just want to share a little bit about myself. So this is before the pandemic. This was me at Boston Inbound speaking to a room full of people about content analytics. And before I started helping small businesses, I used to work for corporate in Microsoft and BP back in Singapore. I'm originally from Singapore and I've been living in London for the last 10 years, 11 years. It's been a long while. So, oops. Okay, cool. Just making sure that you can see me properly. And perfect. So today's agenda, 4 main points I'll be covering. Be talking about why people turn to YouTube. So if you have a YouTube channel or if you want to grow a YouTube channel for the business, to use the YouTube channel as a powerful marketing tool to generate leads for the business, this is the session for you. I'm going to go into the outline of a plan that I did for one of my clients, how I helped her to grow from basically 0 to 1000 subscribers. So part of this presentation will also include, I'm going to share with you what YouTube wants from you if you have a video channel. And then I'm going to split into the channel. There's 2 parts of growing a channel, which is from 0 to 100. And if you want to get from 100 to 1000, you have to level up your game. And I'm going to share with you what's this extra thing that you need to level up to the next level. Perfect. Right, let's start with at the beginning. Why people turn to YouTube? Why do you use YouTube? So many people, what happens is they understand why people use YouTube when they are a user, but when they start having a channel, they lose their bearings a little and they start to do something different and they seem to feel that growing a YouTube channel is very difficult. But in fact, it's not that difficult. So let's take a step back into the viewer's psychology. Basically, there are 5 main reasons why people use YouTube. New skills and pursuing their passions. That's what many people have been doing, especially during this pandemic. And what happens is YouTube to see how other people are doing or learning new skills, like learning how to speak a new language or doing some DIY at home. So that is their resource hub. And resource hub means from researching on a subject matter to actually doing it step by step, following someone from the beginning to end so they feel more confident to go on. And then when they see that someone else can actually do it, that gives them the motivation to go from watching to doing. Or in some cases, if they don't want to do it themselves, they know where to look for those resources to help them to complete the task or to solve the problem that they have. And the next point comes to knowledge empowerment along the customer journey. So when there are certain customers, they want to seek validation. They want to feel that they are on top of things. They know that whatever decision that they choose to buy a product or service, they feel like they are making the best decision. They feel happy. And after buying it, they would also like to see the added validation that they have made a good choice. And this is why YouTube is so powerful. It not only acts as a resource for people to look for different ideas, to research on information. It's also where they get their form of validation, because people want to feel like they've done the right thing for themselves. So they feel good about it. So that is why having all this information at hand through using YouTube, which they can see, not just reading from an article. So on a YouTube itself, they see the person doing things. They can have an eye contact with the person who is in the video itself. They can hear. So all of this helps heighten their emotions, and they get excited and they feel more connection. And it's also a good place for businesses to showcase their different brands and products, because there are some customers who go to YouTube to actually research on that. So by letting them have a experience with watching you, they get a better sense of whether your brand is to be trusted or whether they like the energy that you portray on your channel. So as a business, if you are running a YouTube channel, or if you intend to make a YouTube channel one of your most powerful marketing tools, you have to remember these 3 important facts. So as a channel, you have to create content that help people to discover your products. Even if they have no intention to buy right now, they have no intention 3 months' time, it's a chance for you to bring awareness that your company exists, you have these products, or you have these services. So you need to tell people about it. So that's discovery phase. And also having a YouTube channel is a place where you can position yourself as the expert, that whatever products you're selling is very useful. It's going to help solve your problems. And if you're offering services, it's going to position your brand as an expert. And there are people who are willing to pay expert to get the results. So as a channel, you need to provide very useful content that helps to answer the top common questions by potential customers. So when they go to YouTube to search for those answers, your video is going to pop up. They're going to click on it. They watch it. They decide to watch more of your videos. They trust you. And then from there, they say, oh, they are selling these products, or they're selling these services. What I've watched their video, they seem like they really know what they're talking about. Seems very trustworthy. Let me get in touch with them. Let me buy something from them, which I think this is going to help solve my problem. So that's the thought process that your channel will help to create for their potential customers. And with your channel, it's going to help people to take action. So maybe the potential customers has doubts about whether this problem could be solved. They thought they would never be able to find the answer. When in fact, after watching one of your videos, they realize, oh, actually there is a solution, and it's not as difficult as I thought it's going to be. So it gives them the confidence to go ahead, to take action, and to buy your products and services to eventually get their problems out of the way. So this is what you need to be thinking about for every piece of video that you're publishing on YouTube. So what YouTube wants. So you are using this free channel to market your business, position yourself as the expert. You need to know what YouTube really wants for you, because then you can actually get YouTube to help you promote your business. And that's the YouTube algorithm. So how could you work with or develop your channel so that you're going to get YouTube to recommend your videos, recommend your channel to potential new customers who have never heard about your brand, never heard about your products before? So the top important one thing is you think about how YouTube makes money. So YouTube makes money mostly through the YouTube ads that they get from advertisers. So that's one of their top revenue stream. And for them to be able to get more advertisers to put more ads on the different videos, what they need to do is to get more people to watch more videos, to go from one video to another, and then they're going to watch many hours, they're going to watch many minutes, and that's going to help to clock up their watch time. So if you have more people watching videos for a longer period of time, then they can get more advertisers to give them the money so that they can run ads on your videos. So it's very important. If your videos can get viewers to stay for a long period of time, it could be your channel having a longer video, and to YouTube there's a signal that you have very useful, valuable videos that people would want to watch. This means that it's a good quality video and they will want to recommend to other new viewers. Also, even if your channel is small and you don't have that much videos to accumulate that watch time, let's say if you get a viewer to watch one of your videos and this viewer decide to stay long enough and they go on to watch other videos, so they continue to stay on this channel, so YouTube will think, oh, this channel is very good, it's helping viewers to stay longer for a longer time on the platform, they're going to watch many other videos, so it's good, this channel is helping us to get new viewers. So in this case, you're also putting yourself into YouTube's good books. So keep that in mind. Watch time, that's the number one thing that YouTube watches for. So in the past, before when YouTube first started, there were other metrics that they were looking at to determine how the quality of a video before they decide to recommend it to other users. That was like the click-through rate and the views. But what happened was there were many channel owners who abused that system. They tried to cheat. So they put a title or like a thumbnail that has totally nothing to do with their video. And that's what people call it as a clickbait. So what happens is over time, YouTube decided that views isn't a very good metric to measure the interest or the usefulness of a video. So if someone finds a video is useful, they'll most likely want to watch it to the end, or they want to watch other videos, and this all adds up to watch time. So the longer they stay, it's a stronger indicator to YouTube that you have a very powerful, valuable channel that they would like you to continue to upload more videos to grow your channel. So now we know both what YouTube wants and we know what the customers want or what they're looking for. So, well, what do we do now? Cool. So let's get into it. I'm going to share with you like this case study on how to start a YouTube channel from scratch. So beginning from 0 to 100 subscribers. So let me share with you over here. So this is my client. So she is like she's a solopreneur and she has been thinking about creating videos, but she thought it was going to be really difficult. It's like, to her, growing a YouTube channel seems like a very far-fetched fantasy. It's going to be really difficult. This is not me. But I strongly urge her to do that, mainly because she had a really good vast knowledge of expertise. So it was really helpful. So the first video that we started was back in 2019. And we started with really basic because she didn't really have a large budget. So one thing I want to highlight is that most people or most businesses think that starting a YouTube channel means you have to get really like a videographer. You spend like a few £1,000 creating those videos, or getting those high quality equipment, which isn't the case most of the time. So if you are working for like a large business, or if you have a really big business, you have money or budget to get those better quality equipment, or you can hire people who have the expertise, high quality expertise, then feel free to go ahead. But if you don't have such a large business, you have a small budget, you are not sure whether this YouTube channel is going to help you to generate more leads. So I would suggest to start small. You still need to get a good quality microphone, but you don't have to break the bank to do it. And you could also think about what's the bare minimum you can do to start getting there. So this was when we created the first video on 12th of March. As you might have noticed, all right, the thumbnail doesn't look very exciting. So I want to highlight that one of the biggest thing when you first started is that you don't really have to spend like getting a designer to design this high quality thumbnail, unless, as I mentioned earlier, you have the budget for it. Otherwise, just keep it simple. Keep your brand colors, keep the minimal number of words so people can see you. And if it's possible, try to put a face on the thumbnail as well, because many studies have shown, advertising campaigns has also shown that having a face on the thumbnail as a part of the thumbnail itself is a very attractive proposition. People like to look at faces, smiling faces, or some kind of expressive face. So that's kind of the basic which you want to go with. And having the right title with the right keywords is also very important. So that was the focus, and the plan was to start publishing one video every week. So because my client is new to video, she didn't have that much confidence to deliver like a long video. So I told her that let's just start with something that's like about 2 to 3 minutes, something that you feel comfortable with. Let's don't think about creating this gigantic 10-minute video at the start. So that can be really deterring. So start with something small, and it's possible. Let me show you. So this is a chart from the YouTube analytics. Inside YouTube itself, you can view the stats as well if you're growing well through the channels, and you can see the performance of each of your videos if it's growing over time. So many people might think that a YouTube channel would be the same as a social media channel. So what they don't realize, the biggest mistake, is that the growth of a YouTube channel is similar to the growth of a blog. So it happens over time. You need to trust the algorithm. You need to get your right keywords in. You need to consistently be putting out content. So this chart over here, as you can see, is made up of 2 lines. There's an increment of subscribers by video and views by video. So you can see at the beginning when we first started, so we started putting out like a channel introduction at the beginning. That's on 3rd of March. That's before we actually have the actual launch itself. And then we started on a big bang on the actual day on 12th of March when the first video went live. And then as you can see, the views by video was rather flat. So there was some increment, there was a little bit of a spike, but only, as you can see, because we were only doing one video per week. So you have to realize that you're not going to see an instant effect unless if you already have a large email list of subscribers right now, or if you have a large following or other social media platforms that could help you give a boost. However, because my client had a minimal reach back then, so what happened was the growth was slow, it was steady, so you can only see more of the effects as you go down the months. So from March, April, May, June, July, you can see there is a more significant growth towards between July to September. And then as you go up to October, suddenly you see there's a more rapid growth. And I'll explain to you a little about that, what happened, and how it helped her to explode the 100 subscriber mark. So one of the key things that we kept on, these 6 important factors that I want to emphasize and highlight on, that is that for a channel to attract potential customers, your video has to be useful. If your channel is meant to be a form of entertainment, then yes, it could be jokes and it could be more of talk subjects. However, for example, like for my client, she is a nutritionist who's providing expertise, and she wanted to sell her services. She wanted to sell her digital product. She wanted to sell one-on-one personalized services. And the only way is to address those questions that potential customers have. So the top one part that we kept it as a top priority was the usefulness and relevance of the video. What are the main key conditions that her potential clients have? What were the symptoms that they were suffering from? And what kind of keywords would they go into Google or YouTube to search for? And how it would help to get her videos onto YouTube search. So usefulness, information loaded, that's a priority for any channel to want to attract potential clients, because they have those questions, they go on to search, and your videos need to be able to provide that value. So the next two things, which I feel definitely is really important as well, but it doesn't mean that you need to break your bank, which is to enable video to have good visibility, good quality video. You don't want to have something fuzzy, and you don't want to have something that's really shaky, because some people start to take like walking videos and they don't realize that when a video is shaking, it's not providing a good experience for viewers. They get headaches from the shaky videos. So you want to provide decent quality videos, which most of us, if you have an iPhone, just like I do, it's going to be really easy for you to start just with an iPhone. Because even for iPhone itself, you can also create 4K videos if that's what you're looking at. So you basically don't really need such an expensive equipment. So the next thing that is equally important is your sound. So if you are like a beginner, if you have like a small team, recording outdoors, if your surrounding is really noisy, there are a lot of cars, it's going to be not a very good experience if people can't really hear what you're saying, unless you also put in the effort to update your subtitles, create those subtitles, so even people can't hear your voice, they can see the text running across the screen. Otherwise, try to do it in an indoors as much as possible, maybe at the start, or in a really quiet park where you're very sure you're not going to get sudden loud external noises. So that's really important. And one of the key things that we highlighted in this video, in this channel, when I was helping my client to grow, was actually deciding on a niche. What kind of topics do we want to have? So most people, when they start a YouTube channel, they talk about everything under the sun. And what I'll tell you, please don't do that. Just decide on maybe 2 to 3 main topics and cover them more in depth. Because as a new channel, what you don't realize is the YouTube algorithm works similarly to the Google algorithm, because they're essentially the same company. The algorithm works about the same way. Is that if you cover a general topic that many different people would have already recorded a video and uploaded to YouTube, and they have 1 million views, it's never in 1,000 years will your small channel with like 10 subscribers going to be able to show up on YouTube page 1. So however you need, but if you create a channel right at the start when you have less than 100 subscribers, you cover in-depth topics and you go into the different layers of different questions in depth. So that makes you more likely for your channel to grow, because it helps people who are looking for very specialized solutions that can find your channel better. Whereas if you are talking about the top 10 very, very common questions, if you go on YouTube and you find that there's actually maybe 20 other channels who are already talking about this particular question, chances are it's less likely that your channel is going to start ranking. This means that the growth of your channel is going to be extremely slow. It's going to be a really uphill struggle. So the fifth factor, which is absolutely critical as well, is you don't want to have boring videos. So your personality, you want to be attractive, you want to attract the hearts of people. So it could be useful, but it doesn't need to be boring. So the best tip that I can tell you that's been proven to be very effective to most people is in the video itself, talk as if you would talk to like a real person. You know, you wouldn't start to read like a script to talk from point 1, point 2, point 3 and talk in a monotone. You want to talk in a more animated tone, like you would actually talk to a friend about a subject you're really passionate about. So when you show passion and excitement in your videos, sharing knowledge, that some people might think is boring, but if you actually let your passion show out in your videos, people are drawn to that, they're attracted to that, they will want to listen to you, they want to watch more of your videos because you made the subject sound like it's the most interesting subject on planet Earth. So personality is really important because sometimes people follow your channel mainly not just because it's useful, as sometimes your delivery also plays a very important role. And the last factor I want to highlight, which most people neglect, is that they fail to promote their videos. So when you're like a new channel starting from scratch, what happens is most people, they think, oh, let's upload the video and that's it. Well, the channel is not going to grow by itself. It's impossible. So what you need to do is you need to shout it out loud, whether it is to promote to your existing clients or current clients. If they have some of these questions, you can send them the link to say, hey, I have this video who's talking about this. You asked a question similar to this. I've answered that in the video. Maybe you want to watch that. Or you could send it to your email list if you have a subscriber list. Promote to them, send them the link, especially during the first 48 hours after you upload the video, because that's a strong indicator to trigger off YouTube's algorithm, and they are likely to show to more people if you are going to get more people to view, not just view the video and watch your video right to the end. So that's very critical. Please keep that in mind, because if you're not going to start promoting it yourself, putting in the hard work to promote your video itself, YouTube's not going to do the hard work for you. You need to put in the foundation to build up this promotion routine every time your video goes live, and that's going to really help you to hit the 100 mark. So let's look at an example of like how I did of a video. Is that okay? So every time we publish a video, what happens is we have this big checklist. So because we had it was just my client who was trying to start his YouTube channel, so we start with something really basic. You can of course use other tools as well, like using ClickUp or like other organization project management. If you have a huge team, everyone who is doing different things, one person doing the recording, one person deciding on the title, researching in what are the keywords to be using, making sure that you have the thumbnail ready, making sure you have the end screen all set up. So you will need like a spreadsheet. In this case, I've kept it simple. We decided to work on using a spreadsheet. So we'll decide and plan out the topic ideas, and then there's a process of what are the different things that needs to be done to complete this video before it goes live, so you can achieve maximum impact of getting people to watch this video, watch it to the end. So you need to optimize the various processes. So of course, to the thumbnail selection, the video tags, which works a little bit like how hashtags work. So having those important key parts into this video upload process is really critical, because if every piece of content or every video that you record is a huge amount of work, so you want to make sure that you get as many viewers as possible to watch that video, and you are putting all the different trigger points in place so you can get them to watch from one video to another. This includes as well creating playlists for your channel. So playlists are what you usually do to decide on so let's say if you recall, I was mentioning earlier about selecting about 2 to 3 niche topics. So you want to categorize your videos into those different playlists. So sometimes you can get people to watch the playlist from beginning to end, and that means clocking up the watch time as well. So you want to be mindful of that. Remember to place those videos into different playlists. So you want to have a bit of structure. So the structure was really important because without a structure, things can't happen, or sometimes things might drop off the plate. So you need to be very precise in terms of setting up the process to get those videos loaded up on a weekly basis. For some of you who might want to accelerate your channel growth, you can also decide on a 2 videos per week schedule process. And that also means you need to really plan ahead. You don't want to start recording only when you take out the camera, because that's what most people do, especially if they only have like a small team and they've never really done this before. They can't afford to hire videographers to do all of those. So what happens is, without a planning process, and then you take out the camera, you might end up like spending more time staring into this camera and doing different takes. So that's not going to be really helpful to your channel growth. So now that we have hit 100 subscribers, actually, hang on a second. Let me get back to one of this chart as what I was mentioning earlier about the growth of the channel. Is that where is it? Right. So what I want to highlight the points about getting from 0 to 100 and from 100 to 1,000 is a very different ball game altogether. You want to really get on to the next level, and to get to 1,000 subscribers, why most people think about 1,000 is that on YouTube itself, if you achieve 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours, that's when your channel could be monetized as well. So you allow different other people to add in different ads as well on your video. So let's go back to this chart as I was mentioning earlier. So what happened was, we stuck to this process we have set up, and we continue to upload 1 video every week all the way until Christmas. And as you can see, there became like a spike, because what happens was, there were people on Facebook who were sharing her videos on other channels. So you started to see growth over time. You can start to do that. Remember, we're only doing this at 1 video per week. So if you're doing 2 videos per week and you have set up a similar process, the growth will probably be slightly faster, as well as the industry. So if there are more channels similar to yours existing on the platform, it means that the competition will be higher. So it might take a little bit more time. Whereas if your business is in a niche that not many people have a YouTube channel yet, so this would make it easier for you to be able to grow your channel. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a YouTube channel yet, I would strongly urge you to think about it, because the YouTube channel growth is actually really speeding up really quickly, and YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. So many people actually go to Google, this not just Google itself, on YouTube as well, to search for answers. So this is a really good time for you to jump on this bandwagon. And what happened was, once we hit around December and January with the client that I was working for, so in January itself, something happened. Her channel suddenly started going viral, because there was one of these videos which was really, really useful. And what happened was, many people were sharing it in their Facebook groups. And that resulted in a sudden spike of people coming. And that's how the channel started growing more quickly on their own. So you need to hit a certain bandwidth, or you need at least 1 or 2 videos going viral. And what happens is, when I mean going viral, I mean that by going viral, after watching that 1 viral video, they want to watch other videos as well. And that helps YouTube to understand that your other videos are also becoming increasingly useful to them, and they start to promote. So it's different from social media posts, where what happens is, after a certain time, your social media post gets buried under. Whereas for a YouTube video, if suddenly someone shares this and it goes viral like 6 months later, that video will be rejuvenated or resuscitated. So this would really help to accelerate your growth. So keep that thought in mind. And okay, so the next thing from getting to so as you can see, growing the channel from 100 to 1,000 subscribers. So we want to keep in mind is that we kept to this brand colors. We created those thumbnails. We make a little variation. I consistently emphasize on the importance of putting a face on the video itself, and this was the process as we continue on. So we stuck to it, and eventually, okay, I'm showing you another of this YouTube analytics chart itself, which you can also see for every YouTube channel, is that before you can see that the top traffic sources were coming from like Facebook, and then this was from her tool where she has her booking software for potential clients to get in contact with her. So you can see where the top sources was. And after, as the channel started growing and accelerating, you can see that the top external sources turned to Google search. So most people don't realize, they think, okay, if I have a YouTube video, it can be found on YouTube page 1. Is it possible to start ranking on Google as well? And the answer is yes. So however, it takes a little bit of time. So once your channel has reached a certain threshold, or your videos has reached a certain number of views, which Google finds that it's going to be relatively relevant, they would also show your YouTube video on the Google search results. So it's also possible for your video to start ranking on Google page 1. So that's kind of like a double impact. So not only you are ranking on the number 2 top search engine, you could be ranking on page 1 as well on the number 1 search engine. So this is why it's going to be really useful for you to grow your business as well. And one of the things is that with all of this coming in place, there were more people getting into contact, more potential clients, because on each of the video, in the description itself, in the pinned comments, we keep emphasizing resources like blog posts to go and visit the website. There are different services. So if they want a more personalized approach, you can visit this and this. And this is how the channel helps her to generate those quality leads. So first, you create videos that are answering potential clients' questions. They watch your video, they like your video, they watch more of your videos. They decide to check out your website, check out your other resources, which you have put in the description and in your pinned comments, and then they start checking your website. So we could also see on Google Analytics itself that there was an increase of traffic coming from YouTube channels. So people who are really wanting to solve their problem, they would transit from the YouTube channel to go onto your website. So by that, you can see how powerful a YouTube channel can be. So as you recall, I mentioned 6 different factors on how to grow from 0 to 100. So the one thing that is really powerful is that if you want to grow from 100 to 1000, you need to really up your video length. So at the beginning, I mentioned that I recommended my client to start with a 2 to 3 minute video. And what happens was, as we wanted to really hit this 1000 subscribers and 4000 watch hours, we had to increase the length of the video. So we increased from between 1 to 3 minutes to 5 to 10 minutes. So if you can get a longer video, if you can even record a 20-minute video, that's even better, because if one person watch a 20-minute video, it's really good indicator as well. And so creating a longer, when I mean longer video, I don't mean like a video that's repeating itself. You need to really know your content and what you can put into the explaining the subject matter or the knowledge or information you want to present in the video. So there could be like part 1, part 2, part 3. So you can slowly transit from a short impactful video to a longer, more entertaining video. Of course, it still needs to be useful, it still needs to be seen and could be heard, it still needs to be targeted, and you still need to have the personality, and of course, still promoting to other people who are not on the YouTube channel. So the only thing that I would recommend if you want to really grow from 100 to 1000 is to increase the length of the video. So there are 3 important tactics throughout this entire process to turn the viewers into customers, which is your topic, the 1 to 3 main topic focus when you are growing. So you need to grow from a niche channel, and then as you grow bigger, you can consider more topics around that. And the most important thing as well is actually to include a call to action into each of your videos. Tell them what they should do next. Watch my other video here, watch my playlist of videos, check out my blog posts which I explain more in depth, or download my lead magnet. And this is how you transit a viewer into potential customers and into a paying customer. So you have to guide them, to tell them you have more information. And if coincidentally this potential client really have those questions, that you have other resources to point them to, so they will engage more with your content, increase the trust, and turn to customers. That's kind of how the YouTube channel works as a very powerful marketing tool. And of course, don't forget to promote your products and services. So if you don't tell them that you're selling certain products, or if you're offering those services as well, what you realize is most people would not think about this and they will not buy from you. But if you happen to have those products and services, they have watched that many of your videos, they find that, oh yes, this was what I was looking for all along. So they will be more than happy to buy something from you. So don't forget to do that. And this is kind of my last slide on this. So I hope if you have any questions, feel free to put it into the chat box. And I want to, before we go into this Q&A, I want to emphasize to you what are the 3 important ingredients to grow your YouTube channel, which is quality, valuable value to your audience, the consistency in uploading the videos every single week or twice a week. Keep to that schedule, and then you can see the momentum growth over time. And you have to be really patient. As you can see from the chart that I was showing you before, there was like a slow growth and then it slowly accelerated. Cool. So let's address some of the questions that I see over here. If you have other questions, feel free to put it in the chat. So I see this question over here from Drasut. What is the optimal and effective time of video? So I would say that there is no one size fits all answer for your different channels. If you have a different industry, there could be an optimal time. If it's like a short question, so you could take like a minute or so to explain, but sometimes not just that question, but if you can also increase your watch time by explaining some of the backstories as well. So some channels work very well with 1 to 3 minute videos, and some channel works better with longer videos as well. So there is no absolute optimal video, but I would say if you want a channel to really grow, you need to really have at least like the 3 minutes, about plus and minus 3 minutes right at the start. If you have too short a video, because YouTube can't see that you are contributing much to their watch time with those short videos, so you might not be able to grow that quickly. So try to aim for that. If you can, maybe 3 to 5 minutes if it's possible, so that would be really good. And effectiveness, so that's not about effectiveness time of video, it's more like the delivery of your videos. So you might have noticed some of those videos online, what happens is they actually have like a little teaser right at the start before they did the introduction, because they want people to stay till the end. So if you have a really engaging video and you tell them right at the start what you can expect at the end of video, if you follow this through, so this is going to keep people, you're going to retain people to keep watching your videos and clocking up that watch time. So what I would strongly urge you to do is to make sure you are maximizing the impact of each video and getting people to watch till the end. What you need to do is to consistently go to the YouTube analytics to look at that, so you can see the performance of your video, how many views you have, how many people click through to actually watch this video, and how many percent of your video that they watch. So if you have like a 5 minutes or 10-minute video and people would be watching at least 50% or more, is considered a really good video, because retention is most videos average retention is about 30% or so. So if you have something about 50%, so that would be good. Because you have to actually keep in mind as well, some people might watch a video at first and then they stop after like 2 minutes because they realize that they don't have time to watch the entire video right now, so they might return to it later. So that would be considered a second view, but a second view could be longer session because they had more time as well. So that kind of evens out. So if you have a retention of 30% or more, is considered a relatively good retention rate for your video. I hope that answers your question, Drasut. So do you have any other questions? If you have any other questions, feel free to email me at clarice.lin@baselinelabs.com. So I help small businesses and e-commerce stores to get on Google and YouTube page 1. And then if you want to see some of my other resources, you can check out my blog as well. So I have a very in-depth blog article, which I also talk about this case study. So you can check out on my blog as well, clarice.lin/blog. And I also have a YouTube channel as well, sharing some of those blog tips. So I'm focused on growing my channel this year as well. So feel free to check that out. So if there are no other questions right now, seeing that the time is up, I would probably round this up. And yeah, you can contact me, check out my website, and check out my other social media channels. And thank you very much for being with me today. I'm very excited about growing YouTube channel. As you can tell, I think this is one of the most powerful marketing tools going forward. And if you're like a small business, I'll highly urge you to be focused on growing your channel for this year. So by the end of the year, you would have got a good subscriber base. And I tend to also observe that people who watch your YouTube channel, subscribers, they tend to become your customers more easily, because by watching your videos, they feel that they know your brand better, they feel more connected, and there's higher trust. So with that, I will leave you for now. And I hope this is really useful. And thank you for being with me this morning. And I will see you in the next session. I'll be in this discussion, social media and digital marketing panel discussion much later. You could also join us there in 2 hours time. So thank you very much. And I will see you. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes. Cool.